A notification popped up on Sarah's iPad, glowing faintly on her nightstand. It was 2 a.m. A message from a name I didn't recognize, a name that would soon become synonymous with the deepest betrayal. The text read, "Can't wait for our weekend in Miami, baby. You'll never know." My blood ran cold, a silent scream trapped in my throat. I knew in that instant my life was irrevocably shattered. The days that followed were a blur of forced smiles and internal agony. Sarah, my wife of 15 years, seemed oblivious. She'd always been a little self-absorbed, a trait I'd once found charmingly quirky. Now it felt like a cruel mask. Her phone became an extension of her hand, always face down, always guarded. Late-night work calls became more frequent. Her perfume, once familiar, now carried a faint, unfamiliar scent. I started noticing the small things. A new, expensive bracelet she claimed was a gift from her sister, receipts for dinners at restaurants I'd never been to, and the way she'd flinch if I accidentally brushed against her phone. The woman I married was slowly being replaced by a stranger, cold and manipulative, her eyes holding a glint of something I couldn't quite place: arrogance. Perhaps, or the thrill of getting away with something. I tried to talk to her, to bridge the growing chasm between us. "Is everything okay, Sarah?" I'd ask, my voice trembling. She'd brush me off with a dismissive wave, a saccharine smile, and a lie about stress at work. "You're just being paranoid, Mark. I'm busy." Her words were like daggers, each one twisting deeper into my already wounded heart. I felt like I was drowning, suffocating in a sea of her deception. The man she was seeing, a smug, slick-haired realtor named Derek, was a mutual acquaintance. I'd seen them together at social events, his hand lingering a little too long on her arm, her laugh a little too loud in his presence. I'd dismissed it then, a foolish, trusting husband. Now, the memories burned. I hit rock bottom one evening, sitting alone in our living room in Dallas, the silence deafening. The kids were at my sister's, and Sarah was out, undoubtedly with him. Tears streamed down my face, hot and bitter. I was broken, utterly and completely. But amidst the despair, a flicker ignited. Not of reconciliation, but of something far colder, far more resolute: revenge. I wouldn't confront her. I wouldn't beg. I would dismantle her life, piece by piece, just as she had dismantled mine. My first step was to become invisible. I started working longer hours, feigning exhaustion, giving her more space to operate. This allowed me to observe, to gather. I installed discreet cameras in the house, not in the bedroom, but in common areas. I hired a private investigator, a quiet, efficient woman named Maria, who specialized in digital forensics. Hotel bookings in Miami, New York, and even a discreet motel on Elm Street in Chicago, all under false names. All paid for with our joint accounts. Photos of them laughing, kissing, in places I'd taken Sarah, places that were supposed to be sacred to us. Derek, the smug bastard, was married too. This wasn't just about my pain. It was about a pattern of calculated deceit. I spent weeks meticulously planning, building my case. I consulted with a divorce attorney, a sharp, no-nonsense woman named Ms. Albright, whose eyes gleamed with a quiet ferocity. When I laid out the evidence, she advised me on the legal traps I could set. I also started subtly shifting assets, assuring that when the time came, Sarah would be left with nothing but the consequences of her actions. I opened a separate bank account, transferred funds, and secured legal documents. I even started a discreet social media campaign, creating anonymous profiles to gather information about Derek and his wife, planting seeds of doubt, not directly accusing but hinting at infidelity. The goal was not just legal ruin, but social ostracization. The public exposure happened on a crisp autumn morning. I had arranged for Sarah to be served divorce papers at her office, a high-profile marketing firm in downtown Los Angeles. The papers included a detailed affidavit, complete with screenshots of texts, hotel receipts, and photos. Simultaneously, Maria, my private investigator, anonymously sent the same package to Derek's wife and to the local news outlets, along with a tip about a prominent realtor's scandalous affair. The story broke like wildfire. The local news ran with it, complete with blurred but unmistakable images of Sarah and Derek. Her colleagues, her friends, her family, Everyone knew. The fallout was immediate and catastrophic. Sarah was fired from her job, her reputation in tatters. Derek's wife filed for divorce, citing the evidence I'd provided, and his real estate license was put under review. The legal proceedings were brutal. Ms. Albright systematically dismantled Sarah's defense, presenting irrefutable proof of her infidelity and her misuse of marital funds. Sarah, once so arrogant, sat in the courtroom, her face pale and drawn, her eyes darting nervously. She tried to deny, to deflect, but the evidence was overwhelming. The judge awarded me full custody of our children, the house, and a significant portion of our assets. Sarah was left with a mountain of legal fees, a ruined career, and the scorn of everyone she knew. I saw her once more, months later, walking down a street in a quiet suburb of Phoenix, Arizona. She looked older, smaller, her once vibrant presence diminished to a shadow. She didn't see me. I watched her go, a hollow ache in my chest. The revenge was complete, her life utterly destroyed, just as I had planned. But the victory felt cold, empty. The silence that followed was the loudest sound I had ever heard.